It's not easy to be classy. It's not easy to be classy, especially when you're dealing with people that decide that a woman of color can never be classy when she goes up against an English rose. Well, in this case, you don't even have to go up against an English rose. People are just going to naturally assume that you're aggressive because, you have melanin. You're a woman of color, so you got to be aggressive. And you have caused a English rose to cry. Of course, it was actually Kate who made Meghan cry, but they weaponized the teardrops of the English rose so that they could create hostility toward the Duchess of Sussex. Of course, Camilla Tominey is the one who wrote the article, which turned out to be a big lie, like so many other things that Camilla has taken to pen. She's not the sharpest tool in the shed if she's finally outraged about something that happened last March. And this was like, let's see, March, April, May, June, July. 4 months ago, was that? Was that 4 months ago? Could it possibly have been 4 months ago? Was that 4 months ago? So all of this time later, her outrage has finally reached a publication. Now, I won't say the name of this paper, but her outrage has finally made it into print. The thing is, either you're not important enough for them to have printed it at the time, or because this is kind of a, slow period, considering that the Duchess of Sussex has not been actually photographed, for quite some time. And she pretty much is on maternity leave or parental leave, if you will. So you decide, while she's on parental leave, to strike out against her for something that happened last March that you didn't mention until this point in time. So Leilani Dowding is a reality show star, and she's also a glamour model. Now, she's not a fashion model. She's a glamour model. She's like 5'6", so she's not exactly runway material, but she is gorgeous. And she has competed for the Miss Britain pageant, which led to the Miss Universe pageant. She did not win Miss Universe, but she did have a trip to Hawaii. Probably didn't cost her anything either. So Leilani says that it's not classy to have aired your grievances with the royal family. So they say in an exclusive interview with this particular publication, she says, I just think it's so millennial-like. It's so unroyal. It's not classy. You don't go and slate your family or someone's family publicly. Now, slate, I've never heard that phrase used before. I guess that's like an English thing, slate. But, so she goes on to say, I just think there's zero class, and if she had any class, she would deal with her family matters as family matters. Since, anyway, let's get with the classy part. Remember what I said in another video. Women of color are not allowed to be classy, especially if they have any type of African roots. Because the Duchess of Sussex is biracial and she has an African-American mother, there's no way she could ever be classy. As a matter of fact, Michelle Obama, how dare this woman with a double Ivy League degree, how dare she say that her double master's degree from Ivy League institutions entitles her to be classy. So she wasn't classy, but then the next First Lady, who has questionable credentials, or should I say a questionable resume, seeing that she dropped out of college and, lied about it. And when people began to dig into her past, well, she just refused to move to the White House for 6 months. The whole thing about her, university degree disappeared from her webpage. As a matter of fact, the entire webpage disappeared. And then, of course, there's the claim that she could speak 5 languages. Trust me when I say this. The Duchess of Sussex speaks about as many languages as that former First Lady, okay? I'm going to give the former First Lady 3 languages, and I'm going to say that she's fluent in perhaps 2 of them, and neither one of them are English. This person, I don't want to get off track, made the classy phrase part of the conversation. And I just hate that because it's always used against black women. So if that wasn't enough, she goes on to say, you don't have to bear all. I just feel like they're both trying to come across as poor common people. Prince Harry has a right to speak out about his family. He has a right to defend his spouse against his family. He's not going to marry his family. He married his spouse. He's going to start a family with his spouse. He's from that family, but he needs a family of his own. And if there's anything that he feels he needs to speak out about, then he can speak out. It was not an attack. It was just a matter of therapy. He's dealing with his generational pain. So this Leilani person goes on to say that the Duchess of Sussex was trying to be Princess Diana 2.0. You know, she said she was trying to emulate Princess Diana, and that, you know, Leilani, please don't try to get into the adults conversation. It just doesn't suit you. But she goes on to say that Princess Diana was a humble person that the world gravitated toward. And lastly, and I'm just paraphrasing a lot of this because she used some language like phony and fake, and I can't help but think that they just presented her a script and told her, okay, go do it. Go do it. And then, of course, her biggest, success in life has been the reality shows. So guess what she accuses the Duchess of Sussex of doing? Trying to turn the royal family into a reality show. Instead of it being aristocrats, she was trying to turn it into a reality show. So there you have it. Leilani, her resume is pretty light. And if you want to know, like, how big her resume has become, it hasn't. Reality show, glamour model, and there's a lot of reputational stuff that is associated with both. And I will be classy and not say any of it, but this is not good for her. So her biggest criticism that she had professionally in life that I know of is the fact that she dressed up as a murdered Native American chief, which the Indian Country Today News said was pretty offensive. But other than that, there's not much to her. But to make a name for herself, like a lot of people, you have to attack the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Well, Leilani, you know, those millennials that you are criticizing, you 41-year-old woman, those millennials, they have a lot to say. So if you're trying to build up a career by attacking the Sussexes, you're doing yourself a disservice, because those millennials will speak up and speak out. And, you know, sometimes people's careers hinge on whether or not the millennials find their behavior acceptable.